Hey loves, it's Belinda, Selene, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I sat down and talked to you guys about just what's been going on. So I wanted to do a question and answer over on Instagram. So I asked you guys to ask me literally anything. So today I'm going to be answering some of your juiciest, most invasive questions, and I'm going to answer them for you guys, especially the ones talking about baby number 2 and just talking about all things of being a woman. So let's get right into it. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so let's see. The first question says, has becoming a mother changed your relationships or friendships with people? And that is a big yes. Me and my sister have gotten so much closer, especially when I was trying to breastfeed and I felt like I was doing everything wrong. I didn't know anybody else who had breastfed, so she was like my #1 source. I would always reach out. I would always talk to her. I would call her like at 2 in the morning, and she would come by and just help me and encourage me and support me in breastfeeding because that was really hard. So that was really awesome. With all my friends and family, we're still quarantining. We're still trying to, you know, social distance and, you know, keep our distance. So we still FaceTime and talk to one another. So nothing has really changed. But overall, our relationships have gotten stronger. Okay. The next question is, how do you keep a relationship spiced up? Ricardo's love language is me doing things for him, like getting him a cup of coffee or just kind of like attending to him. That's what he told me. He likes it when I do things for him, like when I cook for him, when I bring his plate over. And my love language is different. Like, my love language is affection. So I want him to like hug me and kiss me, and he remembers that, and I remember to do things for him that I know makes him feel loved. So I think just knowing your partner's love language really helps up a lot. Okay, I'm gonna need some water for this one. Alright, next question is, have you had sexy time with your hubby post-baby? And that was one of the most asked questions. And yes, not as often, obviously, because our hands are full with little baby, but we do still try. Was there a moment you felt like you would never have a baby? Oh my goodness, reading this is making me so emotional. I remember reading this answer and just pondering for a while. And just remembering back to those days before Benji. So if you guys are new to my channel or haven't watched all of my other videos talking about trying to conceive for the longest time, Ricardo and I tried to have a baby for such a long time. We've been married for 6 years, and we tried for 5 years and nothing was happening. It was extremely frustrating. It felt lonely. Oh my goodness, just like all those emotions are coming back. And we conceived through IVF. And was there ever a moment when I felt like I was never gonna have a baby? Yes. There were so many times where I would just cry and just be sad and talk to Ricardo about it. And I just wanted to be a mom more than anything in the world. Like, I knew that that's what I was meant to do, is to be a mother. And I just wanted to have a baby and feel needed and wanted, and you know, it's really hard to talk about it even now. Even though I have my baby, it's still really hard to talk about it because that feeling has been there for such a long time. There was many times where I felt like it was never gonna happen, especially after I had a miscarriage and then 2 IVF cycles failed. Like, I just felt so hopeless, and I just had to keep praying, and eventually, like, I was able to get myself out of that state of mind and try not to just obsess over trying to get pregnant and try to like focus on other things. But it was so difficult, and it's such a lonely space because nobody really talks about it. And I think that is one of the hardest things, is that no one is very open about it, so you just feel so lonely. And yeah, that was, sorry, I didn't mean to get into, I'm sorry, next question is, how did you emotionally bounce back after your miscarriage? I'm currently going through fertility treatments and struggling. I struggled so much going through IVF, and after our first cycle, I had a miscarriage, and it was so difficult. It was so hard. I felt extremely depressed, and I didn't know what depression was. I had no idea what it felt like. Like, I've been sad for many different reasons, and you know, just like throughout my life, but I never had experienced depression, and it left me feeling hopeless, and it left me feeling so empty and alone, because nobody talks about miscarriages, nobody talks about specific subjects, and I knew that I had to talk to someone. I knew that in order to feel better, I had to continue to pray and just focus on other things, because I just felt so consumed with all these thoughts, and I was just so sad. And I remember like talking to my sister helped a lot, and trying to reach out to other people who had had similar experiences helped me. And it's really difficult because you feel so alone and you don't want to share something so personal with other people. And it took me a while to reach out and just not feel so lonely. Another thing that I did was I had to try and focus back on myself and not just think so much about all of the bad things or all of the reasons why I was sad. I had to like remember that I have to love myself too, and that I have to be proud of me as a person, even though I'm not a mother and that's what I wanted to be. And so I started focusing on like my diet and like working out, which helped me with stress tremendously. Working out, like I remember I was so fit during that time afterwards, and I was watching, you know, specific foods that I was eating so that I could have all these nutrients to make my body feel good. But I had to focus on anything else other than getting pregnant. I started working on like a project for work, and I dedicated all my time into it. So my mind was always busy with happy thoughts of progressing in some kind of way, while I let IVF and the fertility treatments that I was going through work through my body. So I honestly don't know if that's what worked or not, but I know that that helped me tremendously mentally and physically. And reach out to people who you love, like who you trust, that you can talk about these things. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, there are so many resources online that are really, really helpful. And one of my favorite ones is called Conceiving Hood, and it is a campaign with Clear Blue. So today I'm partnering with Clear Blue, and I am so excited because this is something that never gets talked about. When you and your partner are trying to have a baby and you just feel lost and alone and you don't know where to find resources or facts or support, like you need a place where you can go and just feel comfortable. If you go to this website, you will find a lot of support, a lot of people's different stories, a lot of facts, a lot of different resources to help you on your journey. So that is whether you are trying to conceive naturally, whether you're trying to, you know, conceive through a fertility treatment, whether you had a miscarriage, or anything that goes along the lines of trying to have a baby. I will have a link down in the description box below where you guys can find more information. Next question, how was your recovery from your V area? Did you need stitches? Yes, I tore all the way down and I needed stitches all the way down. Alright, next question, did you experience any postpartum depression or anxiety? No, I didn't. I was scared too, though, not gonna lie, because I know that's something that's extremely common, but I didn't experience it. I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting on the most asked question that I received. I think about 50% of the questions were all baby related. So here it goes. Are you going to try for another baby? How soon? And if so, are you nervous because of your past? So I'm gonna answer this in two ways. So the first one is, are you going to try for another baby? And if so, how soon? Well, Ricardo and I talked about this many, many times because we definitely want more children. I want more babies. I love Benji so much, and I want to have more children. So we are definitely ready for more kids. Going through IVF was one of the hardest things that I have gone through. So I would say that I would want to take a break from it for at least a year. So like once Benji turns a year, I would try naturally for a year, and then if nothing happens, then I would go through IVF. I don't want to wait too long though, because we had 4 cycles before we got Benji through IVF, and so I know that it could take some time. So that is our plan. We definitely want a lot more babies, hopefully soon. And then if so, are you nervous because of your past? Yes, I am so nervous. So nervous because IVF is such an emotional roller coaster. What are your 2021 financial goals and how do you work for them? I do have videos talking to you guys about like our finances and how I organize them, especially inside of a planner. And our goals for 2021 is just to continue to invest because you just never know what could happen. All right, so next question is, how hard is motherhood? It is definitely hard, but it is the most fulfilling, most beautiful, most rewarding thing I've ever done, and it's so much better than I ever imagined. Did you and Ricardo ever go through hard times in your relationship? Yes, we've been together for 16 years. No relationship is perfect. When we were in high school, it was a bunch of like senseless drama that was going on, but we kept strong. We never broke up ever, not once ever took a break, never broke up. And then around the time that we were trying to conceive, I had a really hard time with it. And it was just kind of took a toll on our relationship. But after going to go seek treatment and after going to doctor's appointments to try and find out what was going on, it really reunited us and it brought us closer than ever. And ever since then, we've been like super close, and our relationship has been like the strongest it's ever been. Next question is, did you and Ricardo ever talk about the possibility of not being able to have children? Yes, we have, and it was difficult, but at the end it made me feel supported and feel better, because just like his response and the way that he talked to me, I don't know, like I feel very blessed to have Ricardo in my life because he's just very understanding and supportive. And one thing that he told me is that, you know, we want a baby because we want to raise, you know, a little human together, but it all starts with both of us, you know, with our love that we're going to give this baby. And if we can't, we'll always have one another. So, oh my god, I didn't think I was going to get emotional through this video. Okay, next question. What has been the hardest adjustment you've made as a mom? Sleep. Oh my goodness, sleep. I feel like everything else is kind of easy. Like, you know, like, of course it's not easy, but in the beginning when he's a newborn, like, yeah, you know, you're so consumed with making sure that you keep your baby alive, but like once like you get into routine and like it's so easy to change their diaper, if they're, you know, like if they spit up or if you need to change them or you have to feed them or bathe them, like all those things are really fun and cute. And you know, even if he cries sometimes, like just holding him, you know, like there are obviously harder times and easier times, but I feel like overall it is a lot easier. But the hardest adjustment is just sleep, because Benji slept great up until 3 months. He slept like 6 hours, 7 hours, and we would like be rested, and then he would wake up like every 2 hours after that, or like it would be fine. And then all of a sudden he hit 4 months and he woke up literally every single hour, every 45 minutes, every 30 minutes. And we could not get more than 2 hours of sleep through the night. And that happened for about 5 weeks, so like a little bit over a month. And then we took a sleeping program to help him with his sleep, and now he sleeps 11 hours all through the night. So it's pretty amazing that he gets rest, we get rest. Like, that was the absolute hardest adjustment. It's just sleep. Are you still pumping in the middle of the night? I'm 3 months postpartum and I'm ready to drop it. I feel your pain. It is so hard to pump in the middle of the night. When Benji wasn't sleeping through the night is when I stopped, because I just did not have the energy to pump. And now I don't do it. I just pump in the morning. And sometimes I'll pump at night. I started YouTube a while ago and I stopped. It's hard to get followers. Any tips? Consistency is your #1 tip that I can ever give you, because if you're not consistent, you're not constantly uploading, people cannot find your content. And if they go to your channel and they see, oh, she's done 3 videos, but she's done 3 videos in last month, like what, you know, like what am I going to be watching if she doesn't upload as often, or there's a variety of things that I'm interested in, then most people are not going to subscribe. So I would recommend to be consistent with it and just be patient. How long does Benji nurse for each session now? I'm on a breastfeeding journey also. Oh my goodness, in the beginning it used to take us so long because he would continue to fall asleep on me. So it would be anywhere from like 35 minutes to 45 minutes. Now he's up, he's awake, he's alert, he's a lot more efficient. We both know what we're doing breastfeeding. So it can take up to like 15 minutes. Like they're super fast sessions. How old are you? I am 31. I had to think about it for a second. I am 31. I will be 32 in July. What was the most rewarding part of pregnancy? Oh my goodness, just knowing that there's a baby growing inside of you. My pregnancy was not easy. It was very hard. I was sick all the time, but just knowing that you're growing your baby and you get to feel your baby move, I think that is the most rewarding. Like every time I would feel a kick, like I would just get so emotional and get so happy. Even at night when it was really hard to sleep because Benji was kicking me all night long or I had hiccups, it was still so beautiful. What made you do YouTube as a career? I actually didn't expect for it to turn into a full-time job. I used to work at a bank, and then I had this really great opportunity to work with this amazing brand. It was like my biggest, like one of my very first campaigns I ever did, but it required me to travel throughout the year. And where I worked, they couldn't accommodate like all this time off that I needed. And so I talked to Ricardo and I was like, I really want to work with this campaign. They were not going to pay me a year's worth salary that I was working at the bank. But I remember talking to Ricardo about it and I was crying. I'm like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. This is so awesome. I was like, but you know, I can't just like let you take over, you know, the finances. Like that's not fair for you to be working and for me to just go out and travel and, you know, like follow my dream. And I just found it so unfair to him. And he was like, do it. He's like, we're fine. Like we're gonna do good. Just, you know, he encouraged me. And then I went ahead and I put in my 2 weeks notice, and then, you know, it goes on from there. Like after that, this has been my full-time job and it's so awesome. And are you still close with your friend Ashley? I hardly see you post her even before pregnancy. Yes, of course. She's my best friend. We talk all the time. It's just with the pandemic that's going on, she's pregnant and I have my little baby to take care of. We still keep in touch. We just don't physically see each other as often as we would like to. What was the most unexpected part about giving birth? The most unexpected part, I would have to say, was how you felt afterwards. Like I always see videos of like people holding their babies and they're like crying and excited. And yes, I held my baby. Yes, I was crying, but I was so exhausted that I just like, I looked at my baby as they were like measuring him and like weighing him, and I saw that Ricardo was next to him, and then I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Peace. And I closed my eyes. And Ricardo said that I slept for like 40 minutes, but like, I was so exhausted. I see like people eating and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know how soon afterwards they post. Did you use everything in your hospital bag? Almost. Yes, I would say the majority of the things I actually did use. Do you feel pressure to look perfect on social media? No. No, not at all, girl. I look like a hot mess with my mom bun, with no makeup on, my glasses, my PJs, and I don't feel any pressure at all. Do you find planning difficult now that your hands are full? Yes and no. Like the decorating part of it is a little bit difficult, but I still need to plan. Like I am a planner at heart. Like I will plan on a scrap sheet of paper if you gave it to me. Like I will find a way. Okay, are you thinking of doing the mom haircut, aka short bob length hair? Now I know why moms cut their hair. I didn't understand it before. I thought it was just like, oh, new baby, new look, you know? But no, it's because those babies grasp your hair and pull it out in bunches. And if I'm losing hair, it's not due to postpartum hair loss. It's because Benji just grabs my hair and rips it out. So am I thinking about it? Kind of. Yes. Maybe not that short, but maybe like up to here. So when he's like nursing, he always like wants to grab it, so I always have it up, but even then it doesn't matter because he'll like reach behind me and like grab it. So I don't know. I actually do want to dye my hair a little bit darker and like cut it just a little bit shorter, just to just for the health of it, because I have not cut it in a long time. How do you handle hateful comments? I ignore them because I feel like the person who's watching, if they have something mean to say, they do it to intentionally try and hurt you, and that person doesn't know me, or that person is saying something mean. Because to be honest, would you ever go up to like another person to their face and tell them those things? I don't think so. So I just feel like I don't take them personally. If someone says something, I just like forget about it, delete it, not think about it. Does Ricardo manage your finances as well as the home finances? So we actually split up what we do because I have to be involved. Like I have to know how much money we're making, what money is going out, what we're paying. Like I am just as involved as he is, but when it comes to like doing our taxes, especially for my businesses, then he takes over and does all of that, and then I'll just review it. So we're both hands-on. So he does all the preparation for it, but I do look over it. So I don't understand it all, but I try my best to when it comes to our businesses. Has it been hard quarantine and dealing with postpartum? It was so difficult for me. No, actually quarantine was not hard at all, because in the beginning when I brought my baby home, all I wanted was to take care of my baby. I found it difficult to like get ready for company, clean up for company. I just felt like that pressure because I didn't want my house to look dirty. I didn't want to be like a hot mess. Like all I wanted to focus on was my baby, taking care of my baby. And we had a few family members come here and there, like just our immediate family. So that was nice because I didn't feel like overwhelmed with company. And I just feel like if, you know, we weren't in a pandemic and a lot more people came to the house, every mom that I've ever spoken to said that they felt so overwhelmed with people coming over because they were either so tired that they couldn't hold a conversation, or they were trying to like breastfeed or do other things. And even though it was nice for people to come visit them, it was really hard and stressful. So I honestly haven't struggled with that. It's been nice, like just having our time and getting to know my baby when he was first born. And now that he's a little bit older, like I don't mind staying at home all the time because I have no FOMO. No one is doing anything. So I'm at home with my baby and it's amazing, you know, like we have our own fun and it's great. And the last question that I'm going to answer is, how have you managed to accomplish being a homeowner so young? That is honestly all thanks to Ricardo. Like he's always been so great with finances and saving. And I remember we dated for 10 years before we got married, and I was a little impatient. I'm like, okay, like when are we moving in together? Like when are we buying our house? When are we getting married? But he was very, very smart about it. Even though we really want to get married because we've been together forever and he had his career, he actually stayed home the first year that he had like his career going after college, and he lived at home so he could save up money to buy our house. And I was already living on my own, so I still had bills to pay unlike him. So I saved money for our wedding, and he saved money for the house, and for the wedding of course too, because I couldn't save as much as he could. He had like a really great career and I was still working. I was still working at the dry cleaners. Was I? Yeah, I was. Was it around that time? Yes, I was still working at dry cleaners, working minimum wage. Eventually I went up to being a manager, so it helped a lot, but I wasn't making as much as he was. And I'm so glad that even though I was very impatient, I didn't pressure him or tell him anything. And by the time that we got married and we combined our finances, he definitely taught me a lot of what to do and what not to do. And I've always been a saver and have been really great with my money too. But I learned a lot from him. So both of our mentalities combined together like really helped us be successful. But I mean, we weren't rich or anything. We didn't have like a lot of money. Like none of our families really helped us financially to pay for the wedding or for the house. So I'm really proud that we were both able to do it together. And there's nothing wrong with getting help from friends or family. But it was just really really nice that we were both able to come together and you know, like be successful in that. And we bought a little house, our little starter home. I love it. I still have so many videos from that house. It was like a 2-bedroom, you know, I think it was like 700 square feet. It was perfect. It was our very first starter home and we loved it. And then eventually, you know, like as we both grew in our careers, like we were able to expand and do a lot more, but it all starts with a good foundation and teamwork. So that is all for today's video. I hope I caught you guys up to date with what's going on. I would love to do another one of these videos. If you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments down below and I'll go through them and I'll answer them. And I hope you guys found it interesting. If you guys are currently going through your conceiving journey of trying to add a little member to your family, then I would highly, highly recommend for you to check out Conceiving Hood through Clear Blue's website. I will have that link down in the description box below. Going through that journey can feel really lonely sometimes, and it's really nice to find that support or just find more information, find facts, and find different resources to help you go through this journey. A huge shout out to Clear Blue for partnering with me in today's video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Muchos besos. Mwah.